Here's a sight to brighten anybody's day. These golden canary yellow flowers of gorse. I know this is a plant that I feature quite a lot, and I do that because it's an important plant in the grand scheme of things. But if you're one of those people that despises the time of year that we're in now, autumn, the time when the nights are drawing in, the nights are getting longer, the nights are getting colder, and the days are colder, and quite often we have a lot more gloomy weather. Here's something to help get you out of that. I use it as a reminder that spring's never really that far away. It may seem it sometimes, but it all goes by so quickly, too quickly, and increasingly quickly the older that you get. But this is the most joyous of shrubs. It's an extremely valuable shrub as well. If you have this in an area of land that you're conserving or in charge of, you need to maintain this and keep it, because this is a vital nectar source at this time of year. In fact, there is a honeybee going round the flowers as I film this. Maybe it'll come down to here. But the most typical time, normal flowering time for gorse, is the early spring, when hillsides can become completely yellow. Calverton Pit Top is the most incredible sight in Nottinghamshire for gorse. It's stunning when the gorse is out. But some gorse plants are a bit more individualistic and say, I'm going to throw some more flowers out at the opposite time of the year. But those flowers are extremely welcome to those late flying invertebrates and those bees that are out and about. We have to remember now that in these days of milder winters, honeybees and bumblebees are active later and earlier in the year. In fact, there's an increasing tendency now for bumblebees to be active on mild days during the winter, and so need a nectar source. And in the wild, gorse fits that nectar source to an absolute T. Gorse is also useful, as I've mentioned a number of times on this channel, for being a great place for overwintering invertebrates. And if you're at a loss and you've got a beating tray and a stick, tap the branches of gorse, especially where there's accumulations of dead needles and old dead flowers, and you'll get a sheetful of invertebrates. It is probably one of the best plants and shrubs for overwintering inverts, and if you're a conservation work manager or whatever and you've got a work party and you're cutting stands of this down and then burning it, you're burning thousands and thousands of invertebrates. So if you must cut it down, then give the branches a few taps first to dislodge any invertebrates that's in there, and don't just tap them over grassy areas. Tap them somewhere safe so that they can find somewhere else to overwinter while you continue with your work. I understand and accept that some clearance work has to be undertaken, but how many people actually dislodge the invertebrates that are on and contained within the stems and dead leaves and flowers of gorse? Not many, I suspect. It's a vital plant, and just as importantly, it's a plant that can help you through those longer, darker days of autumn and winter. It's a real splash of colour, gorse, and it's much underappreciated. I love it. I can't say enough words about this, but thankfully for you lot, I'll keep this to less than 5 minutes. I might even take a breath.